The CEO of Xpeng, he's been to the United States. He's just tested Tesla's full self-driving. This guy, he's really doing his homework, and he's saying that they have the best-selling car in the history of Chinese electric car manufacturers. The best-selling car ever, based on the orders that they're going to deliver in the first month of deliveries, this is an amazing achievement. This is insane, and it's not unexpected. I mean, you would think this would happen considering the price of this car. It's unquestionably the best value electric car the world has ever seen. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon and as YouTube members. If you'd like to do so, I'll put a link in the description for our Patreon page and our YouTube member section. Now, the YouTube member section does have some member-only videos, so you do get that as a bit of a perk. Xpeng, right? Xpeng is selling on average around 15,000 cars a month, but they have more than 40,000 orders now for this new car, which delivery hasn't begun yet. Guys, I will be able to test drive one of these in a few weeks. One of these is coming to Australia. Just keep this quiet. One of these is coming to Australia, and I'll be test driving one of these to tell you what it's like driving what is clearly the best value electric car in the history of mankind. There's nothing else. Really, there are a lot of different really good value EVs, but there's nothing at this level. $16,500 US, right? We're talking what's that, about 27,000 Australian dollars? It's a similar size to a Tesla Model 3. In fact, a tiny bit bigger than a Tesla Model 3. BYD seal, similar size, similar technology to a BYD seal. Very, very similar. Clearly significantly cheaper. Is it coming to Australia? Wow. Could have some news for you there. So make sure you stay tuned. Xpeng Mona M03 capacity has been expanded twice in the last 10 days. Apparently, the CEO is telling suppliers, you guys need to seriously ramp up production because we have so many orders. This will be the best-selling Chinese vehicle ever. And I think he might be right. The M03 is the first model in Xpeng's new Mona lineup. Basically, that's their new affordable lineup of cars. To be honest, Xpeng's cars are already incredibly affordable. I don't know how they're manufacturing these at this price. I really don't understand this, but they are saying that if they're able to manufacture, a very, very large number, that even at these prices, they won't make a loss. I mean, how do you compete with that? If you're the Volkswagen Group, if you are Ford, if you're General Motors, if you're Toyota, Nissan, how do you compete with this? You can't. And that's why the Volkswagen Group bought a stake of Xpeng, bought a percentage of the company. It was a tough decision, and we want to get your new car in your hands as soon as possible, he said, when referencing just how many orders the company actually has. This month, the Mona M03 will be delivered, apparently, and it's believed that it's going to break a record for a new model in terms of deliveries for a Chinese car manufacturer. So not just EVs, any car, internal combustion, Chinese car manufacturer, it's going to break a delivery record. I would assume that would mean they might sell maybe 15,000 in the first month. But if you think about the price of this vehicle, I honestly think they could sell 1 million a year. At these prices, this, like I said, there's nothing else that competes with this. Now, apparently production will start, basically now. So production has started for this car already. And like I said, I think there is one on its way here to Australia, which is going to be really, really cool. Xpeng officially launched this new electric sedan, rival to the BYD seal and the Tesla Model 3, on the 27th of August. There's 3 versions. The starting price is $16,900 for the cheapest version. The mid-spec version, that's about $19,000. The premium version, it's about $22,000. We're talking US dollars here. As you can see, it's much cheaper. It's about half the price of a Tesla Model 3. And this means it's the least expensive Xpeng model on the road. Now, apparently, the company are getting 2,000 pre-orders every single day. That's after they initially got 30,000 orders, as in locked-in orders, not speculative orders, but 30,000 official locked-in orders within 48 hours of launching the car. Since then, they're getting 2,000 orders every single day. I mean, there's 365 days in a year. If that was to continue, what would they get? 750,000 pre-orders? Something like that? Possible. It's actually possible. That sounds ridiculous, But apparently the CEO of Xpeng is telling suppliers it's possible they could be looking at those kinds of numbers. So you'd need to actually ramp up production. We need to be making a minimum of 30,000 of these a month. This has kind of transformed the company. Xpeng's stock price has been affected very, very clearly since this happened. Stock price has, cratered. As you guys know, I lost a fair bit of money buying Xpeng stock. Xpeng, initially they hit a high, an enormous high, which is a bit ridiculous. I don't know how this happened. On the 27th of November, $64. It then fell to a low of about $6.85. That was only a month ago. Since then, the stock price has rallied. It's up about 25% in response to this. If you think about it, this could be the revival of Xpeng. Along with the investment via the Volkswagen Group in the company, you've got to start saying to yourself, hang on a minute, things are changing at this company. They really are. If these guys are going to be able to deliver potentially 50,000 cars a month, this is going to really revitalize the company. Plus, keep in mind, these guys do use structural battery packs, gigacastings. They're one of very few companies in the world, very few companies in the world that are using a gigacasting for the entire section of the front car, the entire section of the rear of the car. That actually significantly reduces costs. Also keep in mind, the top digital car makers have been ranked, right, worldwide. Tesla is still in number 1, NIO is number 2, and Xpeng have jumped they had the highest percentage increase in their technological capacity according to analysts and experts, a growth of 17% versus last year. They will likely, if they continue on its current trajectory, overtake NIO and Tesla by the end of next year. Is that going to happen? I don't know, but it could happen. This company, honestly, guys, the stock price couldn't be any lower. It's ridiculous. It's fallen by 70% over the last 5 years. Based on this new news, things will change soon. Now, what is this car? What is the Mona 03? The overall size is 4,780 millimeters long. It's 1,896 millimeters wide and 1,445 millimeters high, meaning it's just a little bit bigger than a Tesla Model 3. It's powered with a single motor only. Rear-wheel drive single motor, 0 to 100 takes 7.8 seconds for the cheapest version, and the two more premium versions, 7.4 seconds. Now, part of the explanation for the cheap price is the size of the battery packs. They're pretty small. The entry-level battery pack size is a 52 kilowatt hour size, but it's still incredibly good value, even with that battery pack size. This is less than about the cost of 2 Tesla Powerwalls, but the battery is the equivalent to nearly 4 Tesla Powerwalls, just the battery alone without the car itself. That's the cheapest version. So you're looking at about $16,500 for the cheapest version, 52 kilowatt hour battery. The more premium versions have a 62.2 kilowatt hour battery. In other words, the same size battery that you get in a BYD Atto 3 long range, or for example, the BYD Seal standard range. But that longer range battery pack, you're looking at about $18,500 even for that battery pack in the mid-spec version of the car. So what is the chemistry? Well, it's a lithium iron phosphate battery. It's actually a BYD Blade battery. So that gives you an idea. It's supplied by FinDreams. So that's BYD's battery division. BYD Blade battery is in this car. And that's actually, I think, a positive. To get longer range from these battery packs, and apparently Xpeng is saying they're getting more range out of these batteries than what BYD do, which is not a surprise because Tesla is able to do the same thing with BYD's batteries as well. They apparently have optimized the design of the M03 to give it a drag coefficient, which is insane. Apparently the lowest among all mass-produced electric vehicles in the world, 0.194. Now, I don't know if that's true, and usually I'm very skeptical of drag coefficient numbers, but whatever the case may be, it's extremely efficient. It might be the most efficient EV to go on sale. It consumes 11.5 kilowatt hours of electricity per 100 kilometers driven, and that makes it more efficient than the Tesla Model 3, which was the existing most efficient car that's being mass produced. Now, yes, of course, Lucid say that theirs are really efficient, but no one cares because they're extremely expensive and they're not in the target market. So you're looking at more of a premium car. In the affordable car section, under $70,000, this is the most efficient car in the world. And that is the reason why they're getting a lot of range out of these batteries, which is an incredibly smart thing to do. Now, keep in mind, Why are they getting more range? Well, these vehicles are significantly lighter than the BYD Seal by several hundred kilograms. That's not just because of the battery size, right? If you actually compare the Mona 03 with the longer range battery, or the same size battery as the standard range BYD Seal, you'll see it's 200 kilograms lighter. And part of that reason is because of the structural battery packs that the Xpeng brand are using. Not just structural battery packs. In fact, it's the combination of the 2 gigacastings front and rear that significantly reduces the vehicle's weight. Apparently, it has smart driving modes that support pilot-assisted driving on highways, a more powerful Max version, which supports pilot-assisted driving on urban roads as well, a little bit like the way Tesla have autopilot and full self-driving. Deliveries have apparently just begun this month, but the Max version won't go on sale, the highest price version, that won't go on sale until January next year. Now, the company Xpeng, they need a boost in their sales. This is delivering it. This is game-changing, this car. I honestly think this could be the most game-changing car of 2024, and not could it be, it absolutely is. I mean, you're going to be looking at least 100,000 pre-orders by the end of the year. As deliveries of this vehicle, people are going to see, wow, this thing for the price, there's nothing that competes with it. There's absolutely nothing. I mean, look at the max spec version. You're still looking at $21,000 for a car that is extremely good quality. And no one ever says Xpeng cars, they're affordable. No one ever says, look at the new G6. Have you ever seen any journalists say, oh, they've been cost cutting in this interior here? Oh, they're cost cutting. You can see the obvious cost cutting things going on here. They never say that. And they're still the lowest priced vehicles. The G6 itself is 20% cheaper in China than the Tesla Model Y. This is a pivot point for Xpeng. And I really think it's very likely this time next year we'll be looking at the company thinking, what the hell just happened?